day 4 of our Aussie Camino walk. Today we're heading to Port MacDonnell, about 34 kilometres, so big day. We've just left our accommodation, which is way down there. Added an extra K to our already 34K walk. Me not complain. Yeah, so last night was 4 degrees, very chilly this morning, so looking forward to the sun coming up and warming things up a bit. We're just heading down to the main drag and we'll take right onto the Nelson-Portland Road. I think it's described in the guide as the Nelson-Mount Gambier Road. I think it's the same thing. We'll walk along the side of that road for about 5 kilometres till we get to the South Australian border. Cross the border another 2 kilometres and there should be a road on our left, the Piccaninny Ponds Road, or the Piccaninny Ponds Lookout Road. And we'll walk down that, hit the beach, and then we've got another 11 k's on the beach. And the tide's in at the moment, but I think by the time we get there it'll be well and truly going out, so we should be right to walk on the beach. Went to the Nelson Hotel last night for dinner. It's the only place in town for dinner. Very nice food. We had a great meal and we shared a bottle of wine. Yes, we shared a bottle of wine. We let our hair down last night. But yeah, it was nice. We couldn't get a stamp there. Didn't really know what we were talking about. Suggested we go to the visitors centre here at Nelson, but that's not open till about 9 or 10, so we'll be well on our way by then. So yeah, we didn't get a stamp at Bridgewater either. We forgot to ask when we went to the cafe, and then by the time we remembered, the cafe had closed, so they may not have had a stamp anyway. Yeah, so we're not doing too good with the stamps, apart from the 2 that we got on the first day. But we'll keep trying, and I'll keep you updated if we do manage to find anywhere else with a stamp. I'm sure we will. It's a matter of looking. Yeah, so big day today. Let's go. Okay, so here's the intersecting road, and I think there's a lot of trucks that use this road, so we're going to have to be careful. There's a sign there, which is the Great Southwest Walk. Down that way is where the Nelson Hotel is, but this is pretty much where it loops. So if you went inland on the Great Southwest Walk, you'd come out here and then go back down the coastal route, which we just came up. So ta-da! So coming up to the border between Victoria and South Australia. Yeah, so it was not too bad, even though it was alongside the road. There was plenty of verge, so there were a lot of trucks, but there was plenty of verge to get off the road. There's only one part where we had to step off and hold our breaths as the truck went past, but other than that, yeah, it was all good. We have a little South Australia-Victoria border memorial for the surveyors Henry Wade and Edward White. We've made it to the Piccaninny Ponds Conservation Park Road. That's a mouthful. So cross over here and get off that main drag and yeah, head to the beach. I think it's about 4 kilometres to the beach from here, but we're going to stop and have a drink in a minute, so I'll check the distance. Well, this is a nicer walk than on the main drag. I think we've had one car in the first kilometre and we're going at a very sedate pace. So I checked the map, and it's about 3 kilometers from the turnoff to the beach. So we're going to get down to the beach, and we'll probably stop and have a cuppa for our morning tea before we tackle the 11 k's of beach. But very peaceful on this road. It's got a real rural sort of feel to it, just slower pace. Here we are arriving at the beach. Just got to go up and over this hill, and there's the beach, and that's where we're going. So high tide was 7:42 a.m. this morning, and it's now about 11:15. I think the official low tide mark is 12:10. So, but you can see the tide's going out, so we should be right as long as we get past this wet patch down here, of course. That's what you need. See how we go. So it goes for as far as I can see that way, and as far as I can see that way. So we're going to have to take our shoes off and walk across this and dry our feet, put our shoes back on. We're just going to stop here and have a cuppa because we need to psych ourselves up to wade through that cold water. Cold. Yeah, that's the only way through. The water goes both ways for as far as you can see, so yep, it's just the way it is. So what do I think about this walk? Look, as Luke Mills says in his guidebook, early days, the infrastructure's not there, and of course the infrastructure's not there in comparison to Spain. That's got 1,000 years of history, and tens of thousands of pilgrims. So that's a different type of infrastructure they've got there because the foot traffic is there. The foot traffic's not here at the moment. I'm really hoping that in the future the section from Cape Bridgewater right through to Port MacDonnell, it just needs a couple of dormitory, I'll call them albergues for want of a better word, but if there was just a couple of albergues in that section, it would be so fantastic, to be able to walk without carrying 20 kilos on your back and having to, sleep on a mat on the ground and be uncomfortable and have sore hips and all the rest of it. That was the beauty of Spain. As much as you were hurting on some of those longer days, you knew everyone else was hurting. You were all going to the same place most of the time, and when you got to the albergue, you got to interact with other pilgrims, sit and reflect and talk and share a meal and share a wine. And this is not that type of pilgrimage. It's a different type of pilgrimage at the moment, and it is one where you are left to your own thoughts a lot. It's a lot of long stretches, and provided the weather's nice like today, it's a really pleasurable experience walking along this beach. It's not dissimilar to the Great Ocean Walk in many ways, but if you're thinking of coming on this, that infrastructure is not there yet. And I say yet because I'm hopeful that it will be in the future. And this section along here, as I said, from Cape Bridgewater right through to Port MacDonnell, so close, just needs a couple of things. And 50 or 60 coffee shops along the way would be great as well. So look, that's my thoughts. Many magnificent views, lots of time to think and to reflect, and lots of time to look and enjoy the surrounds. This is the view as I'm making this video. There's just kilometres and kilometres of empty beach, apart from seaweed and birds, of course. Making some good progress. But one thing I'd mention, and I didn't get the video camera out in time to show you because he was going so fast, but there was a four-wheel drive that just went past at a pretty good speed. Have fishing rods on the backside. I don't think he's up to no good. I think he's just down here finding a spot to fish. But yeah, probably worth remembering that even though it does feel like you're out here all alone, occasionally something like that happens. There he is, set up. Looks like a good fishing spot. I'm not sure what they catch here, but the ocean is vast, many fish. There is a lot of seaweed along this stretch. We've had to come up on the soft sand, and man, that's a lot of seagulls. Yeah, so this bit is pretty shit actually. You can't go down below the seaweed because there's still a lot of seaweed coming in and it's slimy and slippery. It's really hard to keep your footing down there. Has the odd deep patch, and here you can probably see from the footprints we're sinking right into the sand. So I'm hoping that as we get around the bend here, there's not as much seaweed because this seems to be a bit sheltered, so maybe it's just washing up. Yeah, we've just come around that slight bend in the beach and it has cleared up, and you can see up ahead that there's hardly any seaweed. So just up ahead of us is a house, and so there's a few other houses. It's a small settlement there, but that's 8 Mile Creek Road. So that's where we turn in, and once we hit that road, we've got about 12 kilometres into Port O'Donnell. So for those interested, we've covered this 11 kilometres in around about 2.5 hours, which is not too bad because we got caught up in that soft sand and crazy seaweed patch. And this little path, I just had a look on the map, so this should take us to Browns Beach Campground. That's the last of the beach walks actually. We start to head north now, so well, after Port MacDonnell we head north. But yes, looks like there's a toilet and also somewhere to sit, so that's a bonus. That is. So last night we got this cheese. It's like a blue vein brie. Got that from the Nelson Hotel. We thought like a salty cheese might be nice for lunch. Where was it from?
Let me read the packet. It's from Apostle Whey cheese in Cooramundle, Victoria.
Cooramundle, Victoria. That's lunch. Good little spot there. Camera around for you. Just perfect. So just remember this if you do the walk, the Browns Beach campground. Little gangway that comes up off the beach, and perfect spot to sit and have lunch. So today we've had really good weather. It's been sunny for most of the day and really pleasant, like about 21 degrees, but you can see out in the distance there seems to be some sort of front developing, and the temperature's dropped a bit. It's getting a bit cool, so fingers crossed we make it to Port MacDonnell before any potential rain starts. This is Racecourse Bay, or I think also Racecourse Beach. So we're about the halfway mark to Port MacDonnell, so I think we're about 5, maybe 6 k's to go. It appears that I spoke too soon before about the rain, because since we've been sitting here, the rain's got a little bit heavier, and we just had a look at the radar, and it looks like it's settling in for the next hour or two. It's not overly heavy, but I think it's going to be persistent. So back on the main drag now, and hopefully 3 k's to go to Port MacDonnell. Yeah, the rain's, it's light, but it's annoying. So, you know, without the spray jackets, we'd be pretty soaked by the time we got there. That's a beautiful old building, which has a sign at the front saying Customs House. I assume it's still a Customs House. Don't know for sure. Before we go to our accommodation, we are just going to go up to the little supermarket here, and just to get some supplies for tomorrow. And sorry, I got distracted. I just saw a Mary MacKillop tourist drive sign. So yeah, maybe that is the walk that we are following tomorrow, because it's mainly on roads. So. And there is our accommodation for the night, the Victoria Hotel. Just came down to the bistro at the Victoria Hotel, and just thought I'd ask the lady behind the bar if she knew what the Australian Camino was. She didn't, and I said, "Oh, well, you won't have a stamp for our passport then." And she said, "Oh, no, I've got that. We get heaps of walkers. I'll just go and get the stamp and bring it round." So I don't know what to make of that, but anyway, we're going to get a stamp. We're going to get our third stamp and our first one on the out on the walk proper. So I'm very excited. So, thoughts on today's walk from Nelson to Port MacDonnell. The first part of it on the road, a very busy road with lots of trucks. I think it's a good thing that starts early, and that's the first part of the walk, because I think you really need to be on your toes there. You really need to concentrate, because some of those road trains are going at a fairly rapid rate along that road. So it's good to get that one over first thing in the morning when you're fresh. Hit a patch of really lovely weather for 11 k's on the beach, and we really sort of got into our stride, and we were able to think and reflect, and I had a few words to say. I hope it wasn't too much rambling, but they were my thoughts on the Camino so far. Look, it was 34 k's. I am feeling it. I think you do feel 34 kilometres, especially when you get a bit older. The legs are fatigued, but a good meal, glass of wine, good night's rest, and we'll get up and we'll head to Mount Gambier. I think 29 kilometres tomorrow, so not a long day, but I think we've found our groove a little bit with the longer day walks now. So so we'll see everyone in the morning. We'll do it all again.